Alright, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews, back again to talk about Doctor Who Season 8. We are doing Episode 7. It is called Kill the Moon. And in this movie, this episode, we actually have somebody that in real life has the name Hermione. That's pretty cool. So full spoilers, like I said, if you haven't seen this episode. Also, probably like a decade now, I started going to this website that I'm sure a bunch of people know, T-Fury, and they had this t-shirt with like a mashup of like all these like famous pop culture characters mixed with Futurama, but it was also like famous doctors, and all of them, I was like, oh, this is a Doctor Who shirt, and I wasn't into Doctor Who, and I was like, man, do I buy this shirt? Because I didn't really care. I was like, so now I do care, and now I have a Doctor Who shirt that's been sitting around. I mean, I wear this. I hadn't worn it in a while, but yeah, I got 9. So you got Eccleston, Matt Smith, David Tennant, and the guy with all the scarves. I can't remember his name. It's like on the tip of my tongue. So yeah, I've been sitting on a Doctor Who T-shirt in my closet basically for like 10 years. But it's really cool. If you like this t-shirt, you can find it online, just to let you all know. So anyway, this episode, like, I've noticed some of these episodes like don't really get going until like the last, well, I mean, they get going, but like I'm not really into them until like the last 10 or 15 minutes or so. But now looking back at it, I mean, it's a pretty decent episode, if a little heavy-handed at a couple of points. So yeah, we start on the moon in 2049, where Clara is giving a very dire message that if do we save one innocent life or all of mankind? The Doctor is not here, and we don't know what to do. So it's a pretty interesting beginning. And so I was really excited, but then it kind of just, well, is very uninteresting for a good long while. The premise is all right, but I mean, it was falling into things that I'd seen before. And I was right. Courtney Woods is back on the show. And she's, okay, I'm just going to say this. Look, kid actors, it's very hit and miss. And the girl who plays Courtney Woods, look, she's young. Maybe she'll get better, but she was very wooden in this, and I was just like, that's just me, because I just didn't want her in this. I was just like, why? I'm not special. What am I not? Like, look, girl, man. Is that where we're at, where everybody just has to be patted on the head and be like, no, you're special. So he told her she's not, and she's all butthurt about it, and Clara's giving him shit, and I'm kind of like, hey, you know what? The truth hurts, man. Like, we're all a bunch of people running around. Not all of us are going to be fucking Albert Einstein. I don't know why I picked Einstein, but eventually here, it's like I wrote, sorry, okay, but why should we care? Like, seriously. Clara's talking about how, oh, you can really damage somebody like that. And it's like, but she don't know him. Like, why is her whole life riding on what the Doctor thinks of her? They met like a couple of times, and I know she's been in like this time machine, but I mean, I don't know. But, so he says, well, you want to be the first woman on the moon? So I guess, basically to shut her up, they get into the TARDIS, and they go to the moon, and they find that they're on an abandoned, like on a space shuttle filled with nuclear bombs. So I was like, okay, at least we're in an interesting situation. We might not have the best company right now, but this is interesting. I do like when the other astronauts come into the room and he's like, kill the girl first. I was like, yeah, but he has this little yo-yo trick, right? So there's no, they should be floating around, but there's something wrong. He says that the moon's put on weight, and that it's basically time to blow up the moon. And they find all these webs in like this old station on the moon, and apparently nobody's been there in like 10 years. And I wrote down, did they just say Mexicans? So yeah, apparently nobody else was interested in going into space but Mexico. Don't say Mexicans aren't industrious. So we didn't care anymore about going into space, which is kind of like, pretty accurate right now. I mean, I do think that our asses should have been on Mars already. Okay, we've destroyed this planet like in every fucking movie ever, and we're still not going into space. So I don't mind sticking around watching it all go down in flames, but somebody should be out there checking things out. And maybe they are, but they're not telling us, because why would they? They don't tell us about aliens, so, they don't tell us anything that we shouldn't know. We'd go crazy, which is probably true. But the moon is crumbling, and I was thinking, oh, so it's hollow, like that planet on Futurama where Nibbler came from, where they had hollowed everything out, because he's saying that they found no minerals, there's nothing there, like they were they were digging and they found nothing. And what really happened is that inside there's these like little spider-looking things that killed everybody when they started digging around. Which, I mean, I guess maybe we never knew about it until now. But I mean, we haven't been back in forever, so. But they're basically, when we find out what's going on, it's kind of like, well, wouldn't they have already been there? But anyway, I'm thinking too much. Duke, is that you? Ah! So the poor guy, he just gets killed. Oh, and yeah, she's like, yeah, Duke, is that you? And I'm like, yeah. A guy likes to just hang out in like scary, dark hallways, making weird alien sounds, like for fun. Yeah, that's really. But and apparently Windex kills space spiders, so why not? But I guess they're saying that they're not really like spiders; they're like bacteria. They're like an infection. They're like a germ. Well, those germs look like weird space spiders, okay? I'm scared, miss. And I just said, well, you wouldn't know it by looking at this kid's face and the acting. It's just not good. It's just not good. She's just so wooden. And again, it just kept taking me out of it. And like I said, she's young. But I mean, everybody else is trying. Or are you trying to say that that the youth of today is so disaffected that even if you fucking took them to space, they'd be like... So I don't know. I mean, I guess I can kind of see that. It's like, look at Jurassic World, right? Those kids were there and they were just like... I mean, the one kid was all, horny for dinosaurs, but, once they hit teenagers, they were just like... We get to know from the doctor, he says he can't see everything. The fate of the moon is decided now. Everything that's going to happen is your decision. And that keeps getting said a lot here. And we also find out that there's amniotic fluid on the moon. So the doctor decides to jump into a hole, bonsai style, and find out what's going on. That's when I wrote down, oh, I noticed that the actress's name is Hermione. So that's cool. So let's see, it's 2009. Her name definitely came before the Harry Potter character, because that actress is definitely older than that. You can't put pictures of me online, is another good one. Well, I mean, the doctor should have some way to be like a vampire, right? Like you can't be seen in reflections. I don't know. But we find out that the moon's an egg. Who knew? And Clara's look at him is pretty priceless, and I do like that quite a bit. And so that's the innocent life that they're talking about at the beginning of this episode, is that the moon is a great big egg, and if we kill it, we're killing like something that's probably maybe one of a kind in the entire universe. So that made me think of the game Shadow of the Colossus, where you're going around killing these great big giant one of a kind things that really aren't hurting anyone. They just are, and it's kind of like killing a unicorn. Like it's just. But Manifest Destiny, man, survival of the fittest. That's what I was thinking. Like sure. Things are just bad. Doctor can't help. I get it. He's telling them like, look, I'm not, he's not one of us. He's an alien. He does not come from here. So it shouldn't really be up to him what to decide to do with this life that they found. But Clara wants him to make the decision, to take it off her shoulders, and to take, and the astronaut, she's Hermione, she's just like, yeah, let's blow this fucker up because, yeah. But then it's like, oh, choice of birth or life or death, So basically, pro-choice or pro-life in this situation. And I was like, oh, very nice show. I see what you're doing here. But, they try to weigh the cost-benefit of keeping this thing alive, or saving everybody else, because we don't know what happens, And here's the thing. Okay, this is humanity we're talking about. But first we got to talk about how they get the message out. So there's this guy, and he's like, hello, this is ground control. And I was so hoping that she was going to say, ground control, this is Major Tom. Oh my God, but they didn't. Please say this guy's name is Major Tom. Oh my God, but it wasn't. So they put out the message saying, what do we do? Turn off your lights if we kill it. Keep the lights on if we don't. And I was like, well, bye-bye, baby. Out with the bathwater, because humans would not care. This isn't Hands Across America, where it doesn't do anything but become a nostalgic moment that Jordan Peele turns into a movie, okay? And so it felt a little heavy-handed here of just the unknowable thing. And I'm sorry, but something up there is about to crack open a giant monster, and even if the monster doesn't kill us, the space debris could. And you know what? Those odds, I don't like them in Vegas. I wouldn't take them anywhere. But the show, of course, likes to slap us in the face for having that judgment, and that's why I say it's a little heavy-handed. But the doctor comes, of course, at the last second, because Clara changes her mind at the very last second, stops them from blowing it up, which, because the astronaut wants to just do the smart thing, and but again, the show kind of punishes us for thinking that way, and I don't really appreciate that. I don't know why. I'm not hostile about it. I'm like, come on. It's just, so the doctor saves him, and he talks about, so this thing, it cracks open, they get home, they get back to Earth, and you see this thing in space, and it flies away. And it's just like, oh, it just so happens to not want to kill everybody. This thing that's been up there for 100 million years, and that's somehow in the cosmos. We just have to let things idle. But, he says that after this event, this is what sparks humanity to be reinterested in space and getting out there, and that why Earth is like still there at the end of the universe and all this stuff. And, he's talking about how, like, oh, humanity made this choice. It's like, no, two people did, a little girl and a teacher. And it's like, if I was them, I wouldn't be telling anybody what I did. Because if anybody knew what they did, they'd be like, maybe, in real life, and I know it's just a show, but in real life, they'd be like pariahs. Like, how did you, But it lays a new egg, because of course it does. And we get a new moon, literally. So she did something special. She can now say she did something special. But again, like I said, you can't really tell anybody about it. So, but, because of what happens, he says that she becomes president of the United States and all this stuff. And yeah, and great, fine. But this just, I don't know. She goes off on him then, too. Clara goes off on him. He's like, just, you put this on us, and just, it's like, yeah. Because he's not one of us. And he's always patronizing. He's been patronizing since before he turned into Peter Capaldi. So, like, what changed? what changed? And I don't know, but Claire tells the doctor to leave. She goes home, and Samuel Anderson, shows up on this, in this episode as Mr. Pink. And it's so nice to see him on this show and not on Another Life, which, granted, he was trying really hard on that show. But that show is trash. And so it's nice to see him on this show being like in something that, even if I don't really like this episode that much, it's still miles better than that. And so thank God he's on here. And this is not my favorite episode for sure. And I was told by people that, not every episode's a home run and everything, but this is the first one that I'm kind of like, where I like the premise, but the child acting and the heavy-handedness of like the birth or death kind of thing, the catch-22 situation that we're in, and feeling like the show is punishing you for thinking that we should just blow up this alien up there, because that's what we always, it's the basis of every sci-fi movie. And it's like, I feel like it's one of those things where, say everybody kept the lights on, then the thing would have killed us, and it was a no-win situation. And I don't really appreciate that kind of episode. And just to be fair, look, I love the X-Files. You can't see my poster here right now, but I love the X-Files. I defend that show, even in its seasons that people didn't like. But there's one episode of that show that I just admittedly go, that one sucked. And it's another episode that involves, guess what? Space. Not aliens, not anything like that, but just actual NASA and the space program. And it was in season 1. It's called Space, and it was bad. And that's what I kind of feel like this, except that episode wasn't heavy-handed. That one was just about NASA and boring. And so I know that I'm going to get thumbs downs on this, and I'm sorry. But I mean, I liked some of it. I thought Peter Capaldi made a great point. I'm not one of you. This is not my choice. And so I had to be fair, and I didn't want to skip this episode and just be like, well, I'm not just going to do that one. You know what I mean? So if you don't like this review, I understand. Don't hate me because of it, because I do. I am having a blast watching this show. I love all the situations that we get put in, and I even love this situation kind of in this one. I just didn't like how it was forcing me to, feel bad for picking humanity first over a fucking space egg. So, anyway, but if you did happen to like this review, please hit that like button. Comment, share, subscribe if you're not a subscriber. We are about 130 people, 131 people from 1,000 subscribers, so come join the fun. At this channel, we're just getting started. Just to let everybody know, we've got so much happening right now. In mid-August on the 13th, we're doing a live stream with Dee's reviews and another gentleman. I did not read the entire message that I got, but we're going to be covering Agents of S.H.I.E.L.'s finale and the last season, the future of the last season of that show. And on the 17th, after that, there's going to be a bunch of content with a gentleman named Gino Reynolds, who has his own channel that definitely you should check out, called The Real Gino. We're going to be talking about a bunch of different subjects, so look forward to that. Plus, we're doing Perpetual Grace Limited. We are doing The Leftovers. We are reviewing X-Men the Animated Series' take on the Phoenix and Dark Phoenix saga to show how it actually can be done, and it was done in a cartoon in the 90s. And we're also doing The Boys on Amazon. And then I actually am going to be doing a review of that new Chris Evans movie, because I love Cap. And so I'm supporting Chris Evans on that Netflix movie called The Dead Sea something. Oh, shit. I can't even remember what the title is. But I didn't, it's based on a true story, so it's probably going to end with everybody dead. So, anyway, this is Robert Smirking Gun Review saying, we'll be back with more Doctor Who. I can't wait. Okay, so I did see the trailer or the promo for the next one about the mummy on the Orient Express in space. That looks cool. It also looks like Claire is not involved, so they maybe are taking a break from each other, which it would be kind of refreshing to see kind of a solo Doctor episode. So I am really looking forward to that. And that should be up in the next couple of days. So anyway, have a great day. And I'm sorry that I didn't like this episode more. Please don't hate me for it. So Have a great day. Bye.